What if I told you that nothing you see, touch, or feel is truly real? Imagine this. The chair you're sitting on, the air you're breathing, even the ground beneath your feet. None of it exists in the way you think it does. What if I told you that the entire universe, everything you've ever known, is not a physical construct but an elaborate illusion? Sounds like the plot of a sci-fi movie, right? But this isn't fiction. It's a possibility grounded in quantum physics and cutting-edge science. Here's the mind-bending part. The solid world you experience is nothing more than waves of energy decoded by your brain. The atoms making up your reality, they're 99.99999% empty space. And yet, when you reach out to touch something, it feels solid. Why? Because your mind interprets this energy in a way that gives it form. It's like wearing a VR headset, except the game isn't optional, it's your life. Now let me ask you, if everything around you is just a projection of energy, what does that make you? Are you a mere player in this cosmic simulation, or could you be the one holding the controls? The truth is even more shocking. You're not just a participant in this reality, you're its creator. Every thought, emotion, and belief you hold shapes the world you see. You're both the architect and the observer, building the very fabric of existence with every passing moment. But here's the twist they don't want you to know. Just like a computer can be hacked to perform tasks against its programming, your reality can be manipulated by external forces, social constructs, and even the beliefs passed down to you by others. What if your entire life has been guided by an invisible script written to keep you in line? In the next few minutes, we're going to unravel this illusion. We'll dive into the science that explains how your reality is constructed, uncover the hidden systems that shape your perception, and most importantly, reveal how you can break free. This isn't just a story about reality. It's a story about you, your power, and your ability to rewrite the rules. So, are you ready to wake up? Because once you see what's behind the curtain, there's no turning back. The world you know, the one you navigate every day, might be nothing more than an intricate simulation, a system so well designed that it convinces you of its solidity, its truth. But beneath the surface of this apparent reality lies a vast network of energy, information, and intention, a cosmic internet, if you will, broadcasting signals that your body and brain decode into the physical world you perceive. This concept may sound like science fiction, but it's deeply rooted in quantum physics, neuroscience, and even ancient philosophies. Let's take a step back. In the early 20th century, scientists like Albert Einstein and Niels Bohr began unraveling the mysteries of the quantum world. They discovered that at the smallest scales, reality behaves in ways that defy common sense. Atoms, the building blocks of everything you see and touch, are made up mostly of empty space. Even more bizarre, particles within these atoms don't exist in fixed states. They remain as probabilities until observed. It was Einstein who famously remarked, "Reality is an illusion, albeit a persistent one." But why is it persistent? What keeps this illusion intact? Imagine a computer connected to Wi-Fi. The computer itself is your body, and the Wi-Fi network is an invisible energy field permeating everything. This field carries information about you, your surroundings, and even your thoughts. Your brain acts as the processor, decoding these signals into a coherent experience of the world. This isn't metaphorical. Scientists have shown that our brains process electrical and chemical signals to create everything we see, hear, and feel. In this sense, reality isn't something you interact with. It's something you actively construct. Consider how light works. When you see a color, what you're experiencing isn't the color itself, but your brain's interpretation of light, waves bouncing off an object. Red isn't red in reality. It's simply your brain's way of categorizing a specific wavelength of light. The same applies to sound, touch, and taste. Everything you think is real is a product of your brain's decoding process. This decoding extends beyond sensory perception. The double-slit experiment, a cornerstone of quantum mechanics, demonstrated something extraordinary. Particles behave differently when observed. It's as if reality itself changes based on whether or not it's being watched. This raises profound questions about the role of consciousness in shaping the world around us. Could it be that your awareness doesn't just perceive reality but actively creates it? The idea of a reality shaped by observation isn't new. Ancient philosophies, particularly Buddhist teachings, have long proposed that the material world is an illusion, a dream from which we must awaken. Modern science is beginning to echo these ideas, suggesting that consciousness might be the key to understanding existence itself. What you consider to be solid, immutable reality might actually be a projection shaped by collective belief systems, cultural programming, and, most intriguingly, your own mind. Let's dig deeper. The atoms that form your body, your home, and the stars in the sky are not static. They are vibrations of energy. This means that your reality, down to its most basic components, is a dynamic, ever-changing flow of information. But if everything is energy, why does the world feel so solid? The answer lies in your brain's remarkable ability to interpret this energy in ways that make sense to you. It simplifies and organizes the chaos into patterns, stories, and meanings you can understand. This decoding process starts early in life. From the moment you're born, you're surrounded by systems designed to shape your perception. Your parents, teachers, and culture, all influenced by their own programming, pass down beliefs about what's real and what's possible. These beliefs form a kind of mental operating system, running quietly in the background and influencing how you perceive and interact with the world. It's not malicious, it's simply how human societies have evolved to function. But it raises an unsettling question. How much of your reality is truly yours, and how much has been programmed into you? This programming is why many people never question the rules of the game they're playing. They accept limitations, follow norms, and live within boundaries that may not even exist. For example, think about the societal belief that success requires endless struggle. This idea, deeply ingrained in many cultures, shapes how we approach work, relationships, and personal growth. But if reality is flexible, if it's an illusion we decode, then those boundaries can be reprogrammed. This brings us to a pivotal realization. If you can influence how you decode reality, you can change the game entirely. The key lies in awareness. The first step is recognizing the illusion for what it is, a construct shaped by energy, observation, and belief. Once you see it, you can begin to shift your perception, breaking free from the limitations imposed by external forces and outdated programming. The implications are staggering. You are not a passive observer in this universe. You are an active participant shaping your reality with every thought, feeling, and action. By understanding how the system works, you gain the power to rewrite the code, to tune into a new frequency, and create a reality that aligns with your true self. The EUR question is, will you take that step? To fully grasp the intricacies of this simulated reality, we must dive deeper into the mechanisms that construct our experience of the world. At its core, the concept revolves around a profound interplay between energy, perception, and consciousness. Understanding these elements reveals how our reality is both malleable and profoundly influenced by the systems that encode it. Let's begin with energy. Everything you see, touch, and experience is, at its most basic level, made up of vibrating particles. These particles, which form atoms, are in constant motion, oscillating in a way that emits energy fields. Remarkably, the solidity you perceive, whether it's the ground under your feet or the device you're using to hear these words, is merely an illusion created by the interaction of these energy fields. This isn't abstract philosophy, it's fundamental physics. Scientists have established that atoms consist of a dense nucleus surrounded by electrons orbiting in vast empty spaces. What you interpret as solid is actually the force created by these interactions. Next, consider perception. Your body serves as a highly sophisticated system designed to interpret and process this energy into a coherent experience. Your senses, sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell, act as data collection tools gathering information from the environment. However, these senses are not neutral observers. They filter and transform raw data into something understandable. Your brain plays the role of the ultimate interpreter, taking sensory inputs and constructing a seamless model of the world around you. For example, when you see a tree, you aren't actually perceiving the tree itself. Instead, light waves reflecting off its surface are translated into electrical signals by your eyes, which your brain then decodes into an image. This decoding process extends far beyond the physical. Your mind doesn't simply process data, it overlays it with meaning, influenced by memory, emotion, and belief. These layers of interpretation are what make reality subjective. Two people can observe the same event and walk away with entirely different understandings, shaped by their individual experiences and mental filters. This is why perception is not just about receiving information, it's about constructing reality. The third critical component is consciousness. While energy and perception shape the physical framework of reality, consciousness serves as the catalyst that brings it into existence. Quantum physics provides a fascinating insight into this dynamic. Experiments, such as the famous double-slit experiment, have demonstrated that particles behave differently when observed, suggesting that the act of observation itself influences the state of reality. This phenomenon hints at a deep connection between consciousness and the physical world. Your awareness doesn't merely observe reality, it actively participates in its creation. Consciousness also operates as the gateway to altering the encoded structure of your reality. Think of it like tuning a radio. The frequency you set determines the station you hear. Similarly, your consciousness can adjust the frequencies of your perception, allowing you to engage with aspects of reality that were previously invisible. This is more than a metaphor. Studies in neuroscience have shown that focused attention and intention can reshape neural pathways, effectively reprogramming your mental filters. This process is the basis for practices like mindfulness, visualization, and even lucid dreaming, where individuals learn to take control of their internal simulations. But what about the boundaries of this reality? If everything is encoded energy, interpreted by consciousness, what determines the parameters of the simulation? Here lies the concept of collective programming. From birth, individuals are embedded in a framework of shared beliefs, values, and norms passed down through families, cultures, and societies. These collective agreements form the rules of the game, shaping what is considered real, possible, or acceptable. For instance, societal constructs like time, money, and success are not inherent truths. They are agreed-upon ideas that gain their power through collective belief. This programming is not inherently malicious. It serves a purpose, enabling societies to function and evolve. However, it also imposes limitations, creating invisible boundaries that many never question. For example, consider the belief that financial security requires endless toil, or that one's worth is tied to their productivity. These ideas, reinforced over generations, become self-fulfilling prophecies, limiting what people believe they can achieve. Breaking free from these constraints begins with awareness. Recognizing the patterns and beliefs that shape your reality allows you to question them. Why do you accept certain limitations? Are they genuinely reflective of your potential? Or are they remnants of inherited programming? Once you identify these influences, you can begin to replace them with beliefs that align with your true self. This process is akin to updating the operating system of your mind, removing outdated code, and installing new, empowering scripts. The implications of these concepts are profound. If energy forms the foundation, perception the mechanism, and consciousness the architect, then reality is far from fixed. It is dynamic, ever-changing, and influenced by your choices. This understanding grants you a remarkable power, the ability to shape your world from the inside out. By becoming aware of the system and learning to navigate it, you can move beyond the illusion of limitation and step into a reality of your own creation. The question now is, what will you choose to build? Reality, as we understand it, is shaped not only by perception and consciousness, but also by the hidden structures that govern how we interact with it. These frameworks, whether societal, emotional, or even physical, act as the unseen architects of our experience, influencing the way we think, feel, and make decisions. To truly understand the third thematic element, We must explore the intersection of these forces and how they determine the path we walk every day. Imagine for a moment that your mind is like a theater. On its stage, actors, representing thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, play their roles, creating the story of your life. But what if the script wasn't written by you? Much of what you consider your identity is shaped by external systems, a pre-written narrative handed to you by your environment. These systems are the architects of what you perceive as reality, subtly guiding your choices and defining your limits. Consider the societal structures that frame your day-to-day life. From an early age, you are immersed in a world of expectations, the need to achieve certain milestones, the pressure to conform to norms, and the unspoken rules about success, relationships, and happiness. These expectations are rarely questioned because they are designed to feel natural. But when you pause to examine them, you may notice how they confine your sense of possibility. For instance, the belief that success requires sacrificing personal fulfillment is a recurring theme in many cultures. This idea becomes so ingrained that it shapes entire lifetimes. Yet it is not an inherent truth, it is a construct. Beyond societal systems, emotional frameworks also exert immense influence. Your emotions act as a feedback loop, shaping how you respond to the world. Fear, for example, is a powerful tool for maintaining the illusion of control. It convinces you to stay within the boundaries of the known, discouraging risk and stifling growth. But fear is not your enemy, it is a messenger. It highlights areas where you feel vulnerable, offering an opportunity to confront and transcend those limitations. By acknowledging fear, rather than resisting it, you can begin to dismantle the barriers it creates. At an even deeper level, the physical structures of reality, as perceived through quantum mechanics, reveal that the world is far more flexible than it seems. Scientists have shown that particles exist in a state of potentiality until observed, meaning that your awareness plays a role in shaping what becomes real. This isn't a metaphor, it's a fundamental aspect of the universe. When you understand that reality is not fixed, it opens the door to new ways of thinking about your place within it. One of the most fascinating implications of this flexibility is the idea that multiple versions of reality can coexist. Just as a radio can tune into different frequencies, your consciousness has the potential to access various channels of existence. Each choice you make shifts your trajectory, steering you toward a specific outcome. These possibilities are not abstract, they are tangible paths waiting to be explored. However, the systems around you are designed to keep you tuned to a single frequency, reinforcing the belief that this is the only reality available. Breaking free from this limitation requires a combination of awareness, intention, and action. Awareness allows you to recognize the systems shaping your experience, from societal pressures to emotional patterns. Intention empowers you to set a new course, consciously choosing to question what you've been taught. Action solidifies this transformation, as every decision you make rewires your neural pathways, reinforcing the belief that change is possible. Take a moment to reflect on the choices you've made today. Each one, no matter how small, contributes to the construction of your reality. The path you take to work, the food you eat, the conversations you engage in, all these decisions create a ripple effect, influencing your perception of the world. By shifting even one of these choices, you begin to alter the fabric of your experience. This concept becomes even more profound when you consider its implications for collective reality. If individual choices shape personal experiences, then collective choices shape the world at large. Societies function like massive networks, with each person acting as a node. When enough nodes shift their perspective, the network itself begins to change. This is how revolutions begin, not with grand gestures, but with small individual awakenings that gather momentum. It's important to recognize that these changes don't happen overnight. Just as the structures of reality were built gradually, dismantling and reshaping them is a process. Patience is essential, as is the willingness to embrace uncertainty. The systems that govern your experience thrive on predictability, but growth requires stepping into the unknown. This isn't a weakness, it's a strength. Each time you take a step beyond the familiar, you expand the boundaries of what is possible. Ultimately, the third thematic element is about understanding the mechanics of influence, how external forces, internal emotions, and the malleable nature of reality shape the world you live in. By recognizing these forces and taking deliberate steps to engage with them, you gain the power to rewrite the script, stepping out of the pre-written narrative and into a reality of your own making. The question isn't whether you have the ability to do this, it's whether you're ready to begin. As we reach the end of this journey, a single undeniable truth rises above all else. Reality is not what it seems. The world you inhabit, the life you lead, and the beliefs you hold are not fixed. They are fluid, shaped by forces both external and internal, by the stories you've been told and the ones you choose to tell yourself. This revelation is not meant to disorient you, but to empower you, to remind you that within the illusion lies a profound opportunity to create, to redefine, to reclaim your experience. You are not merely a passenger in this existence, carried along by invisible currents. You are the navigator, the one with the power to steer your course, to rewrite the rules of the game you've been playing unknowingly. Each thought you hold, every choice you make, contributes to the architecture of your reality. And in this lies the extraordinary. The ability to reshape your world begins not with grand gestures, but with small, deliberate shifts in perspective. Think of the moments that brought you here to this point of reflection. They are threads in a tapestry woven by your awareness. What if, in this very moment, you chose to pull at one thread and watch the entire pattern change? What if you stopped, seeing limits as immovable, and started recognizing them as suggestions, waiting to be reimagined? The structures you once believed to be immovable, the rules, the boundaries, the expectations, they are only as real as the belief you give them. This isn't just a call to question reality. It's an invitation to engage with it fully. 2. Wake up each day with the understanding that you are not confined by the past or bound to the expectations of others. The possibilities before you are infinite, limited only by the scope of your imagination and the courage you summon to explore them. Reality, as fluid and complex as it is, bends to the force of intention. Imagine the life you've always thought impossible. What if it's not as distant as it seems? What if, with each conscious decision, you could bring it closer, piece by piece, moment by moment? This isn't wishful thinking. It's a reminder of your role as an active participant in this universe. The energy that composes your world responds to your focus, your determination, and your belief in what's possible. So, as we close, consider this. The power to change everything begins with the choice to see differently, to step beyond the veil of what you've been told is true, and uncover the boundless potential that has always been within you. Reality is not a rigid construct. It is a canvas, waiting for the brush strokes of your intention. The question is not whether you can reshape it, but whether you will. In the silence that follows, let these ideas echo within you. Let them stir something deeper, a recognition that what lies ahead is yours to design. And as you take your next step, know that the universe will meet you with infinite possibilities, ready to reflect the reality you dare to create.